Hey guys, what's going on? So today I'm actually going to put my predictions forward on what I think the Premier League 2016-17 season will be, so where teams will finish. But what needs to be remembered, this is just my opinion at the end of the day, guys. It's not serious, this is just what I think personally. And what needs to be remembered as well, there's still transactions and transfers going on all across the market. So it's all, it's still going on, so I could be massively wrong at this point in time, but I'm going to do this now as I created my one from last year about now, so it's only if I do it now. I'm going to start from the bottom and work my way up to the top. So starting 20th, I'm actually going to predict that Watford will finish there. I feel they had a really good start to last season, coming into the top 6 for most of it, and they just sort of fluttered away, as it were, fluttered away. No, they sort of just fizzled out, as it were. I felt it was more because I think they were aiming at the FA Cup, see how far they could get in that. They did make it to a semi-final, which is great for them, don't get me wrong. But they're not really signing anyone at this moment in time. I could be wrong in a few weeks, I might sign someone, but they're not signing anyone. They just got rid of their manager, which I think is completely bonkers. Why would you get rid of someone who's just brought you back into the Premier League and actually done quite well in my opinion anyway. 19th, I'm actually going to predict Bournemouth. Again, I think the season was so mad last year, it just went all over the place, and I think it's going to return back to reality, and teams are going to start behaving how they should do rather than punching above their weight. So I think Bournemouth are going to finish 19th and get relegated, sadly, as I really do like Bournemouth. They're one of my favourite teams in the Prem, just because how much they're punching above their weight. Number 18, I think Burnley are going to get relegated. I think they are going to hover above the relegation zone for so long, but then I think they're just going to go back down where they came from, which is really sad in my opinion, because again, Burnley are one of those teams I really like. I like seeing them up there. I like seeing teams punch above their weight. It makes the Prem what it is. I haven't seen them buy enough players. I just think they lack a bit of quality in the Prem, and the problem is when they try it, like back in 2 years ago in 2014-15, they tried to actually sign some players, but players didn't want to go because they thought they were going to get relegated anyway. So they were having to sign mid-table Championship players to come into the squad. To be fair, they did get players like Danny Ings into the squad, and he did really well for them. But then went on to Liverpool, and he's doing great things now. We saw what he did in the friendly the other day. 17th, I think Middlesbrough are going to finish there. At the moment, they're signing great players. They just signed Victor Valdez, they're trying to sign Robin van Persie, they're trying to get some bigger names into the squad. I really like what they're trying to do here, and I think they will just have enough quality to survive and clinch into the Prem, which I think is brilliant. I like to see Championship sides come into the Prem and stay. 16th, now a lot of you are going to find this a little bit weird as I'm a West Ham fan. I'm not trying to say I've got a massive grudge against them, because I don't. I actually like Crystal Palace, but I think they have made so many good signings. But I just think, personally, I don't rate Alan Pardew that well as a manager. I think he did well for us, but to have a squad that good at Crystal Palace and then not be able to maintain a top 10 place is just not good enough in my opinion. Last season, if you look at their form in this picture here, they're actually really well to a certain point, and then if you look, they actually go down the table as it goes along, which I think is not good enough in my opinion. I think they need a new manager. I know they really rate him at Palace because he used to play for them when he was younger. Don't get me wrong, Alan Pardew's a great manager, but even though I'm not an England fan, I don't think he's good enough for England. I don't think he should be at Palace. I think they should get rid of him and they will survive without him. But that's just my opinion, guys. 15th, I think Hull City. I think it was really unlucky when they went down before. I think they should have beat Man United that day and survived, but they didn't. They were really unlucky to get a 0-0 draw. I felt quite sorry for them, if I'm honest with you. It was actually mainly our fault they went down, as we just couldn't beat Newcastle that day and we lost 2-0 to them. We just weren't good enough. We just cracked and fizzled, which just wasn't good enough for us, and they went down for it because of our mistakes, and I felt kind of bad for them as well. 14th, I think West Brom. I think they're just going to survive as they usually do. I think they're quite happy just to stay in the Prem. Personally, if I was a West Brom fan, I wouldn't be happy just coming 14th. I'd like to try to push for a 10th spot at least. I don't like the football they play, but that's just Tony Pugh's style, but it does keep them in the Prem, and I think they do well to stay. I don't think they do anything wrong with that, but I think 14th is alright, maybe 13th depending. Sorry Newcastle fans, but I think Sunderland are going to come 13th. I think if Allardyce does stay and he doesn't go to the England job, I think Sunderland will stay in the Prem really strong. He will not have them playing good football, but he will keep them in the Prem. And that is what Sunderland need. If they want to develop, they want to get bigger, they're going to have to stay in the Prem. And they've got Jermaine Defoe, who scored 15 goals last season. I didn't get a call up, but he scored 15 goals and he's one of the best strikers in the Prem, in my opinion. I think he's really, really good. Considering how old he is as well, he's done ridiculously good. 12th place, I'm going to predict Stoke City to come here. If you watched them throughout last season, they were really high up the table. They were trying to come above us for a while, as a matter of fact, where they were 5th, 6th, 7th, and they just stopped. They lost a long period of games, so just losing, and they came to 9th, and I think that was kind of lucky that other results went their way from not to fall any lower. And as I say, you sort of carry the last bit of your form from the end of last season into the new season, so I think they'll have a rough start, but then I think they'll rise up the table. 11th, we're going to put Swansea City. I really enjoyed watching this team, actually, because even though they did smash us 4-1, I still enjoyed watching their football. I love the way they play. They play really hard football, especially when I've been to Swansea before. It's not an easy place to go. It's really difficult to get a result there because their atmosphere is on point, in my opinion. I think once they make some better signings, and I think with the manager they've got, they'll do well and maybe push higher. I mean, they did come 8th a few years ago with the squad. They could come higher, depending how it goes. 10th. Now, I'm going to get tons of comments on this that they're not going to be happy with I'm putting Leicester, but I think Leicester are going to come 10th. I think the fact that they are going to lose a lot of their players, I think they've done really well to keep Jamie Vardy and not let him go to Arsenal. But in my opinion, I think 10th position is a fair place to put them, as I think a lot of their players are going to go. I think there's going to be a lot of pressure on them to sustain coming up high again, which I don't think they can do it. They've got Champions League football, Capital One Cup and the FA Cup, all these tournaments going. I think their squad's just not big enough and they're just going to crumble because of that. I think it's absolutely brilliant that they won the league, but I just don't think they're going to be good enough. I think they're going to have so many games to deal with, they're just not going to do as well as they did last year. 9th, it's my beloved West Ham United. I think we're not going to do as well this season. I don't know why. Just coming from, I can't explain it. I just think from a West Ham point of view as my own, I think we've gone to a bigger stadium. I think a lot of pressure's on us to do well, as we did last season. We're in Europa League and we're trying to I don't know if we're going to qualify for that yet, but 9th position I think seems quite fair. I think we'll keep Bilic. I can see us getting rid of Payet, and if Real Madrid or Barca want to come in for him, I want a lot of money for him. I'd like a big ton of money, because you know what? If they've got loads of billions of pounds and euros or whatever the hell they've got, they can spend bigger on Payet. 8th, I think Everton are going to do quite well. The past few seasons have had really rough seasons. With Ronald Koeman there, he's going to do absolutely brilliant with him. I think he needs to get his feet in firmly first, so I think it's going to be a rough start, but then I think he's going to put him 8th, and I think he could do high. If he stays, I think there'll be a higher team, and maybe push for top 4 in the future, as Everton have just had new owners by him, billionaires. So I could genuinely see Everton coming 8th. 7th, I'm going to put Liverpool. I think Klopp's, at this moment, I don't know many big signings that Klopp's made at the moment. I could be wrong. This is a different point in time when they're making this, so if he has, this is a bit out of date then. But I think Klopp's a great manager, don't get me wrong. I mean, them coming 8th last year is just unacceptable for a team the size of Liverpool, how rich and big they are. What is it? They spent nearly 300 million quid in the past few years, and 91 million quid of it went to Southampton players. It's not good enough for a Liverpool team that should, in my opinion, should be coming to the top 4, top 5 at least. But I think coming 7th, just because they need to still be building on it. Since they lost Suarez, they've just not been the same team. And Steven Gerrard and Raheem Sterling going as well. It's just not been good. I'm not saying this because I'm a West Ham fan. I think Tottenham Hotspur are going to come 6th. And I'm going to give you a few reasons. I'm sorry, Spurs fans. I love you and I hate you. But this is my opinion, okay? I think Spurs are going to come 6th because if you think about it, they fizzled out towards the end of last season. They really did bad. Losing 5-1 to Newcastle on the last day of the season, a championship team, is not good enough. It's not good enough at all. I wouldn't have based it on this opinion first of all, but after the Euros, after England got knocked out to Iceland, you could see how confident Harry Kane, Dele Alli were, and other players in the England squad. I can't be bothered to go through them. They just didn't look confident enough, and I think that will drag into the Premiership season, especially fans give them abuse about it. They're not going to be happy with them. So in my opinion, I don't think they're going to do as well. I think Pochettino might lose his job depending how the season goes, but I think they're going to come 6th. I think they're going to have a good go at the Champions League. In my opinion, I think they're going to make the quarterfinals. I think they're going to get through the group stage because I think their squad's just brilliant, personally. I think Harry Kane's the best striker in the Prem. Sorry, West Ham fans, but he is. Let's just face the facts. I think him and Aguero are the best. I think it's out of those two. I think they're going to have a really good go at the Champions League. And other than that, I can't see them doing it well because they're just so torn with loads of competitions, really. Now, this is an interesting one in my opinion, but I really rate Southampton for this, which is a bit odd considering they have just lost Sadio Mane. They've just lost Pella, and they've just lost Ronald Koeman. But if you think about it from the past, This has happened before to Southampton. They've gone up the table periodically for the past 3 years. They went 8th in 2013-14, then they went 7th in 2014-15, and now in 2015-16 they came 6th, getting a Europa League spot and stealing it from us, which I wasn't happy with. But they deserved it. They were the better team. They were winning. With the squad they've got, they're doing really well. But I don't know anymore because this table I created was a while back. But in my opinion, I think they are going to do well this season. I really rate the squad. I think they've got an absolutely outstanding squad. The amount of money they're going to make from Sadio Mane and Pella, I think they're going to make tons, and I think they're going to buy some better players. I don't know yet because this is out of date. They might have bought players already. 4th, I think Chelsea are going to come 4th. I think they just had a really, really bad year last year, only coming 10th. I think they're going to be back to their old ways. I don't think they're going to do as well as they did last time because of the confidence levels. I think this is going to be John Terry's last year as well. I think they're going to come 4th. I think they'll be happy with that considering how bad the season. I mean, coming 10th last year is just unacceptable for a team that just won the league the year before. It's not good enough and it's unacceptable. And I don't blame Ibrahimovic for firing Jose Mourinho at the same time, especially when he's doing all these embarrassing interviews.
Nothing to say.
I think Man United will come 3rd. I think they're going to be absolutely buzzing with Jose. He's already signed Zlatan Ibrahimovic, which I think in itself is absolutely magnificent. I do think he will have a good impact, Zlatan, because he's old, he's experienced, and he can help the younger players develop. But if they sign Paul Pogba, I reckon they'll come 2nd. This is at the moment because they've not got Pogba. They might have Pogba, but when you're watching it now. But I think at the moment, I'm going to put them 3rd. I'm going to put Arsenal come 2nd again. I don't think they're going to be good enough to win the league. I think they need to sign more players. I think they're going to be really close, but I think it's just going to be taken out of their hands by Manchester City. I think Man City are going to win league. In my opinion, they have the best squad in the entire Prem. I think with Pep Guardiola, he'll definitely rebuild the team. He'll bring it up to its scratch the best it can be, and I think he'll get the best out of Raheem Sterling as well. In my opinion, Sterling didn't have a really good season last season, and I don't think he was all that, and I think this season he will develop into the player he's meant to be, the best player, and I think he's going to be a world-class player when he's older, and I think Pep Guardiola can start bringing that out of him now. Right guys, if you enjoyed this video, this is just my opinion at the end of the day. This is what I think the Prem's going to look like at the end of it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If you agree with my opinion, drop me a like, tell me what you think. If you disagree with it, tell me what you don't like about it. Tell me what you think, where you think other teams will finish. Subscribe if you're new. Thank you for watching, take care.